Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
On behalf of the mayor, the police commissioner, elected officials, and members of the NYPD executive staff, we welcome you to your official swearing-in ceremony. It's indeed my pleasure now to introduce members that are seated on the stage. I would ask that you please hold your applause until all have been introduced. Seated on my right, the commanding officer of the Candidate Assessment Division, Assistant Chief Kim Royster, Commanding Officer of the Police Academy, Assistant Chief Teresa Shortell, Supervising Chief Surgeon Dr. Eli Kleiman, Chief of Personnel Raymond Spinella, Chief of Housing Bureau James Secreto, Chief of Detectives Robert Boyce, Chief of Patrol Carlos Gomez, Chief of Department James O'Neill, the Police Commissioner of the City of New York, the Honorable William J. Bratton, the Mayor of the City of New York, the Honorable Bill de Blasio, First Deputy Police Commissioner Ben Tucker, the Speaker of the New York City Council, the Honorable Melissa Mark Veverito, New York City Council Member District 16, the Honorable Vanessa Gibson, Deputy Commissioner for Intelligence and Counterterrorism John Miller, Deputy Commissioner for Public Information Steve Davis, Deputy Commissioner of Personnel Michael Julian, the Commanding Officer of the Criminal Justice Bureau Assistant Chief Gary Strebel, Commanding Officer of the Recruit Training Section Deputy Chief Samuel Wright, Commanding Officer Police Cadet Corps Inspector Michael McGrath, Commanding Officer of the Applicant Processing Division Deputy Inspector Michael Barretto, and PBA Delegate for the Police Academy Steve Wallace. Ladies and gentlemen, this is our day. We thank you for being here. It's now my honor to introduce the Mayor of the City of New York, the Honorable Bill de Blasio.
Thank you. Good afternoon, recruits.
Good afternoon, sir.
Excellent. It is so good to be with you here as you start down this road, as you start on this pathway to such a noble career. I want to congratulate each and every one of you for beginning a journey that I guarantee you will be one of great importance to the people of this city. I want to thank you for making this choice. We are joined here today, of course, with the great leadership of this department. I want to thank Commissioner Bratton, and I want to thank First Deputy Commissioner Ben Tucker, Chief Jimmy O'Neill, and all the leaders present for the extraordinary work they're doing guiding this department, which is getting better than ever. I'm going to talk about that in a moment, but this department is getting better than ever, stronger than ever, and you are joining at an extraordinary moment in the history of this illustrious department. I want to thank two people who have made some of this great progress possible: the Speaker of the City Council, Melissa Mark Viverito, and the Chair of the Public Safety Committee in the Council, Vanessa Gibson, both of whom have been extraordinarily supportive of our efforts to add additional police officers, to make sure that we have the best technology and the best training available for all of our officers, to make sure you are safe in all you do. So I want to thank the elected leaders who believe in this mission and have supported it every step along the way. It'll be my honor in just a few minutes to swear you in. 1,365 of you. 1,365 people who have made a choice of such importance and who very soon will help us to keep this city safe and make it even safer. You know, the statistics are in for this year, the year I should say we just finished, 2015, and once again, extraordinary progress by this department. We have earned the title, the safest big city in America. We've earned it yet again, and we've shown that we can do even better. We have shown the world that we can protect our people even in the face of extraordinary international danger. For 14 straight years, this department has done an amazing job preventing acts of terror. And don't for a moment forget the fact that there have been threats on New York City, there have been attempts, but this department, its extraordinary intelligence gathering capacity and the great work of all of the men and women of the NYPD has thwarted those attempts again and again. So we are the best prepared city in the entire country at preventing terror and dealing with the environment we find ourselves in today. You are going to be there for 8.5 million people, and they're going to depend on you. They believe in you, they need you. As I said, you're joining this department at just the right time, in my view. You're joining a winning team. You're joining a team that has not only proven for well over 20 years that it can make the city safer and safer, but it continues to get better in so many ways. It's a team that never rests on its laurels. The head coach over here, Commissioner Bratton, would never let this team rest on its laurels. He never lets himself rest on his laurels. He's constantly looking for the next innovation, how we can use technology better, how we can use training better. What are the tools that will make people even more effective? And it's important to note, yes, there are some very big challenges out there. But as we saw at the end of 2015, once again, crime driven down, 1.7% overall serious crime, almost 2%. And over the course of just the last 2 years, a 5.8% drop in overall serious crimes. Shootings went down last year. Gun arrests went up 10%. These are indicators of huge improvements that you will get to build on. These are indicators of a team that's getting stronger all the time. And you're going to be the new blood. You're going to be the energetic new contribution to this extraordinary progress. People look to the NYPD all over the world. It's an agency, it's a department that is respected not only all over the city, all over this country, all over this world. It's no mistake that you see in so many TV shows and movies the efforts to show the world what the NYPD does, and it's put on a pedestal. You get to be part of that now. You get to build upon that tradition. And I remind people that there's some things the NYPD does and in fact makes look easy that no other police department in this country could possibly do. Look at what happened just a few nights ago. December 31st, the eyes of the entire world on New York City. And yes, we knew there were evildoers in the world who had an interest in disrupting all that we do in this city and in this country. But the preparation was in place. Our officers were out in force. The planning was perfect. And the biggest New Year's party anywhere in the world came off without a hitch. The same as the Thanksgiving Day parade came off without a hitch, had the biggest attendance in 90 years, in fact. The same as the UN General Assembly. Well over 150 world leaders gathered, and His Holiness the Pope here for his visit. And the NYPD made all of that come together seamlessly, working with our federal partners. That's what an extraordinary organization this is, that it can do all those things simultaneously and so well. You get to be a part of it. You get to experience all of it. You get to contribute to it. And some of you may choose to one day join the leadership up here. Some of you, if you have the drive, the determination, the ability, will one day sit in this line. And if that's what interests you, if that's what you want to set your sights on, pay attention. Pay attention to the people up here and how they handle this extraordinary work. You'll find no better role model in police leadership than Bill Bratton, and you'll have an opportunity to serve under him and learn from him. You're a class that represents everything good about New York City, because you come from every part of New York City. You look like New York City. You represent all of the communities. This great city, greatest in the world, is a city of immigrants and always has been. Whether it was my grandparents from southern Italy or your parents, grandparents, great-grandparents from every corner of the world, we brought to this city, our ancestors brought to this city their ability, their drive, their belief, their faith, and they made this place great. And you represent all of it. You represent a police force ready to respond to the needs of the 21st century and to include all our communities in that work, because you can relate to every single part of our city. You're a police force that looks like New York City also because we have the highest percentage of women in this class of any class since 2009, and that is a very good thing for this department. 106 of you deserve some special appreciation as well. because you're not only going on this important mission, but you went on a crucial mission before, serving our nation in the armed forces. And I want us all to applaud those 106 good men and women. One of the powerful things about the NYPD is that there is a tremendous tradition, and there are families who have had members serve over many generations, and then there are many of you who are starting the tradition for the first time in your family, and both those strands are necessary. We need that deep tradition, we need that family bond, and we need the new blood and the new families joining. But it's so wonderful that that tradition gives this department strength. Let me give you an example. One of you today, Patrick O'Connor, namesake of his grandfather, Patrick Joseph O'Connor, who was a patrolman in the Emergency Service Unit. Unfortunately and very tragically, his grandfather stopped to assist a motorist, stopped to help someone in need, and was killed in a collision 10 years into his time on the job. But wouldn't he be proud of his grandson carrying on the tradition and picking up the mantle and continuing this crucial work? And Leonard Regalia, Jr., namesake of his father, Leonard Regalia, who served in both the NYPD and FDNY and made the ultimate sacrifice, serving all of us on 9/11. Again, wouldn't he be proud to see his son pick up the mission and continue on with it? That tradition will help all of you. There's so much to draw upon in this great department. And each of you will create new traditions and new strengths for this department. And you will define not only the future of this city, you will define the future of American policing. I have been so impressed over these last 2 years by what the leadership team here has done to continue to drive crime down, to prepare us against the threat of terror, and to bring police closer to communities simultaneously. There are many doubting Thomases in the world. There are many who believe that those things couldn't be done simultaneously, but this department under this leadership has done just that. You see real progress in the relationship between police and community. You see fewer and fewer complaints from community members as their connection and partnership to police officers are deepening. You see the beginning of an extraordinary neighborhood policing strategy. That means that our officers will have the ability to know their communities well, to know all the people in the community who can give them the information they need so everyone will be safer, officers and community members alike. One thing we learn over and over again is intelligence. Intelligence gathering, information is one of the crucial ways to stop crime before it even happens. And our new neighborhood policing strategy is already yielding great results, preventing crime and making communities safer. Now, you're part of another part of important history, and again, great thanks to Speaker Mark Viverito and Chair Gibson and the entire City Council, because in the last budget in June, they authorized 1,300 more officers for this department, and you represent so much of that progress. Those 1,300 officers, plus over 700 who will go from desk jobs to making our streets safer, means in real patrol strength terms, we will have over 2,000 more officers on our streets by the end of this year. That's going to make everyone safer. That's going to mean you have more support as well in all the work that you do. So you're the part of a tradition as well, in the sense that for the first time in I think almost 14 years, we see an increase in the patrol strength to allow this department to reach even farther, to address crucial quality of life issues, to help ensure the city is as safe as it can be, to bond police and community together as never before. You've benefited from extraordinary training, the most modern, the most advanced, the most sophisticated training to keep you safe, training to help you diffuse challenging situations, training that helps you understand the afflictions of those who have mental illness, training that's the kind of training needed for someone dealing with the complexities of New York City. And Commissioner Bratton not only believes in training, as do I, but believes it has to be a regular part of your professional trajectory as a police officer. And we are committed to making sure that training regularly occurs to keep making you better all the time. You'll have the best technology. You'll have the iPhones and the tablets. You'll have ShotSpotter to help you in your work. You'll have the latest bulletproof vests. You'll have all the things to make you not only better as a professional, but safer. We will keep investing. We're investing a lot in you, in your training, in your preparation, and we're going to keep investing in you because we need you and we believe in you, and we know that this city will become better as you become better. So this is the beginning of an important mission you go on. We know it's difficult. We know it can be dangerous. We know it took a lot of guts, a lot of compassion, a lot of determination to make this choice. It's our job to be with you every step of the way, and we will. And we will do it to honor the choice you have made and the great tradition of this department. Now, it is my pleasure and distinct honor to issue the oath of office. Please raise your right hands and repeat after me.
Ready, move!
I do hereby pledge and declare.
I do hereby pledge and declare.
To uphold the Constitution of the United States.
To uphold the Constitution of the United States.
And the Constitution of the State of New York.
And the Constitution of the State of New York.
And faithfully discharge my duties.
And faithfully discharge my duties.
As a New York City police officer.
As a New York City police officer.
To the best of my ability.
To the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, and God bless you all.
Ready,
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Congratulations, officers. It's indeed my pleasure now to introduce the Police Commissioner of the City of New York, the Honorable William J. Bratton.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
I can't tell you how exciting it is to be on this stage. Myself, the leadership team of the department, the city political leaders, and look out and see all of you. You're the fulfillment of a dream. You're the fulfillment of a dream of having a police department that is staffed, that is equipped, that is trained to fulfill the responsibilities of a police force in the 21st century. A lot is expected of you, but you have a right to expect a lot of us. You have a right to expect from us the best training, the best leadership, the best technology, and the best support. And our commitment to you, the mayor, the city council, the executive leadership of this department, is that we will do everything in our power to fulfill those obligations so that you are equipped to fulfill the obligations of that oath that you just took. Your life changed very dramatically a minute ago when you raised your right hand and took that oath. You are now no longer responsible just for yourself and your actions. You are now going to begin the process of assuming responsibility for the safety and security of 8.5 million New Yorkers. It's both an awesome responsibility, but it's also a privilege. And I want to emphasize with you to always appreciate what a privilege it is to be a member of the American police profession, and in particular, a member of this department. Because there is no department in the world, certainly not in this country and certainly not in the world, that is quite like the NYPD. It is a special organization, built on tradition, built on success, built on learning from its failures, but continually striving to learn how to do the job of policing this, the world's greatest city, in a much better way. I wish, being quite frank with you, that I could be sitting where you are. I wish I could be raising my hand this morning to begin my police career. 45 years ago, at the age of 23, just back from the Vietnam Wars, I had the opportunity to join the Boston Police Department. Age of 23, the fulfillment of a lifetime dream, to be a cop. And at that time, the desire was to be just that, a cop. The motivation to move up, sergeant, lieutenant, superintendent, police chief, police commissioner, that came over time. But that desire to be a cop was a lifetime ambition, as it certainly is for many of you. But for many others, it was a recent choice, possibly, a career change, a new exciting opportunity. But whatever the motivation to join this organization, this profession, that there is no better time to be coming into it than at this time. Because the world is profoundly changing in the 21st century, and we need to change with it. And thanks to the leadership of the mayor, the support of the city council, and the skills of the executive leadership team on this stage, and the men and women that you will meet over these next 6 months, who will mentor you, who will guide you, who will counsel you, who will train you, who will teach you, you will be put into a position to fulfill the awesome responsibilities and obligations of a police officer in New York City. For every one of you sitting here, there are 12 other people who would have wanted to be here this morning, but they did not have the incredible qualifications necessary to become a police officer in New York City. They did not, as many of you did, stay with us over a 3-year arduous process from the time you took the exam, through all the many requests and tribulations we put you through to get you into these seats this morning. It's ironic that as much as we want you, for most of our history, we've not done a good job of attracting you or treating you well in that process. Our commitment going forward, First Deputy Commissioner Ben Tucker and the leadership of the many women on this stage, is we are going to learn from our failures with you, things we have learned in terms of why does it take 3 years to get on this job? Why do we not treat you better through the process when we so desperately want you? We are learning, and we will learn to, for future generations, recruit them and treat them better in the process that you just went through. I want to thank you for putting up with us during those 3 years. On average, it took you 3 years to get into this department. We have learned from your experience, and we will do better going forward in the future. Let me talk briefly, expand on the mayor's comments about you. Who are you? You are the last, for the foreseeable future, of the big classes, the mega classes. It's certainly exciting to look out and see 1,369 of you. But going forward, instead of 2 classes a year, we will be training 4 classes a year, much smaller numbers, usually about 400. Why? Because we want to have a more intimate training experience for you. Nothing more exciting to see when 6 months from now when you march into Madison Square Garden and fill that floor, 1,369 of you. But we understood that we can do a better job when we teach smaller classes. So we will be, in the future, hiring smaller classes more frequently so that we can have a more intimate experience with you, so that as you go into the field, you are better trained and equipped than any of your predecessors ever were. Of the 1,369 who are scheduled to be here this morning, we really won't know until later this morning how many of you actually came, but it'll be pretty close to that number. 78% of you are male, 79% are male, 21% female, 51% are white, 14% are black, 24% are Hispanic, 10% are Asian, and we have 2 Native Americans. This is the highest percentage of females, as the mayor referenced, since our 2009 class, with our 21%. We are very excited about that. We have been working very aggressively to get more women into the department. Also, I want to thank our Guardians Association, in particular, for helping us in this area. The second highest percentage of blacks since our class of 2007, following the success that we had with our July 2015 class, so that today we are bringing on board 14% of the class, African Americans. It's also the second highest percentage of Asians, following our July 2015 class, and it's the largest number of Asian females that we have ever hired in one class. You do represent the city of New York, the greater region of New York, the counties that surround it. 242 of you are foreign-born. 445 of you speak a foreign language, 39 separate languages. The mayor referenced the 106 of you who are military veterans. Many of you continue serving in the Reserve and National Guard. 57% of you are New York City residents. Your average age is 25 years of age. College, all of you have the requisite 60 college credits, but 551 of you have bachelor's degrees, 36 have masters, and 4 of you have JDs, reflective of the continuing higher education that we value so much in the department. And you're going to need that education. You're going to need that life experience. Because these six months are going to be, for almost all of you, the most significant 6 months of your life. We're going to put you through a lot. You're going to have to work with each other to get through these 6 months. This is not a singular exercise going into this police academy. We want you to understand that you may excel in certain areas, but if some of your classmates don't, we need you to work with them and mentor them. We need you to, at the end of that 6 months, I want to see 1,369 of you. I want you to work together as a class. Because when you get into the streets of New York as police officers of the City of New York Police Department, you are going to have to work together, all 36,000 of you. So I encourage, as you go into the academy environment and all the challenges it presents, that you not approach it as a singular initiative. It's something that you are going to enter and complete successfully together. I want to say a few thank yous, if I may, echoing the mayor's comments. Certainly a thank you to this mayor for the incredible support that he has given me and the leadership team of this department. And literally everything I've asked for, I've received over these 2 years, including you. We had to make a very strong argument to increase the size of the department because we needed a larger department. And you are the results of his support of that effort. I want to thank the City Council, the representatives who are on the stage, for their support. The increased numbers, increased attention to safety, the bulletproof vest the mayor referenced, and the many other items that we have asked for and received. There has never been a time in the history of this department in which we are getting so much. And you will be exposed to that over these next 6 months and this next year once you go out into the streets of New York. When you exit that academy in 6 months, on your pistol belt, there will be more equipment and more technology than any of your predecessors have ever had on those belts. When I come out of the Boston Police Academy in my blue uniform and that shield on my chest after 7 weeks of training in the police academy, think of that, 7 weeks, and I was out on the streets of Boston, all 155 pounds of me. I had a 6-shot revolver, Smith & Wesson, 6 pair rounds and loops on my belt, a 12-inch balsam club, excuse me, a parking ticket book, a set of handcuffs, and that was it, and my badge. When you leave the academy, you'll have the latest technology in terms of the weapon you will carry. You will have new trauma kits. You will have those handcuffs. You will have state-of-the-art radios. You will have state-of-the-art smartphones. You will have ASP. You will have, many of you will have been equipped by that time with the new emergency escape mask that we are acquiring, that there is no police officer in America who will be so well equipped as you to do the work of police officers in America in the 21st century. And for that, we have to certainly thank this mayor and the city council for their active support. As the city has experienced good budget times, they have shared that money with us to ensure that you have what you need to do the job safely. You are also going to be trained in the most modern state-of-the-art police academy in this country. A $750 million investment that will allow you to do things that your predecessors, most of them, had never had the opportunity to do. Scenario-based training and custom-designed training environments with instructors that have totally changed the format of how we teach you. And for that, I want to certainly thank now First Deputy Commissioner Ben Tucker, who in 1968 was sitting where you were when he joined the New York City Police Department, but who came back to the department 2 years ago at my request as the Deputy Commissioner for Training. And in the short period of time in that capacity before being elevated to first deputy, where he still has responsibility for training, has brought about a phenomenal reformation of this academy, its curriculum, its focus, and its skill. He has been certainly ably assisted by that by the current Deputy Commissioner for Personnel, Michael Julian, who also for a period of time served as Deputy Commissioner of Training. Michael also, who will be leaving us next week, that joined this department also, like Commissioner Tucker, way back in the bad old days. And he and his creativity, call him the chief of big ideas, that has brought about a lot of new ideas and training skills into the environment that you're going into. And certainly the head of the academy, Chief Shortell, she's a dynamo. You're going to love her. And you're going to really love and respect the cadre of caliber people that she has surrounded herself with, who first and foremost care about you. They want to ensure that when you leave that academy, you have the skills necessary to keep yourself safe, so you can keep your partner safe, and so you can keep the citizens of this city safe. Safety is always going to be our first priority for you and for the citizens of New York. So I speak specifically about them, but they are only part of it, because you're going to be assisted by some of the best instructors in the land. You're going to be supported by mentoring officers. When you go out into the field, new program, 3 months in, you'll be out in the precinct for 12 days, where you will meet the people that you will be working with when you graduate after 6 months. And when you graduate after 6 months, you will also meet your field training officers, volunteer officers who will mentor you during that first critical 6 months, when you think you know everything and you recognize how little you really do know. Because policing is not something that you can acquire all that you need in a classroom. It provides a foundation. Where you acquire all that you need is in the real world. And the best way to acquire that experience, which is going to be so essential for the next 20 years of your life, is to acquire it with the support and guidance of somebody who's been there, who has experienced it, who understands it, and is willing to share it with you. We have totally reformed how this department trains its personnel, and we are also reforming the process that you went through, that arduous 3-year process. Commissioner Tucker and Commissioner Julian and others have worked out a system that we believe that starting next year, when a candidate takes the test, that within 1 year we should be in a position to offer that candidate a position in the New York City Police Department. Not 2 years, not 3 years after the exam, but within a year. You certainly can appreciate that, because you understood how long these 3 years were waiting to get on this job. Well, in closing, the wait is over. You are here. You have worked very hard to get here. We have worked very hard to get you here also. We want you here. So in these next 6 months, work with us as we work with you. Because I can tell you, after 45 years, I wasn't kidding when I said I wish I could be there starting those 45 years over. The challenges of the 21st century are so different than those of the 20th century that I faced. And the way that you will go about addressing them, the excitement of it, the creativity of it, the newness of it, God, would I give anything to be able to start all over again. And despite having extraordinary success in those 45 years, some of the best fun of it, some of the most exciting time of it was what you're now starting to go through, the beginning of it. Enjoy it. Remember it. I look forward to seeing each and every one of you in 6 months. Don't let me down. Don't let this department down. Don't let your families down who have supported your decision to commit to this profession. Because if you decide to leave us, you'll regret it. Because there is no career quite like that of a police officer. Every day you get a chance to have your light count for something. And at the end of 20 years, you can look back and say, I had a life that mattered. I have a motto: cops count, the individual cop, police matter, the police profession. And why? Because every day we're given the opportunity to have a life of significance. Well, you've just taken the first step. Enjoy each and every other one of them as you go forward. Thank you.
And thank you, Commissioner Bratton. I'd now like to introduce the Speaker of the New York City Council, the Honorable Melissa Mark-Favorito.
Good afternoon to all. Good afternoon, and it really is an honor to stand here today with Commissioner Bratton, with Mayor de Blasio. I'm excited to be here for all of you. You are entering a very serious position, but part of that position also entails smiling once in a while as you interact with our communities and as you build relationships. So I know that each and every one of you is happy to be here, is excited to be here, and the next steps that you will take in this path. So I just want to begin by congratulating all of you on behalf of myself, my colleague Vanessa Gibson, and the whole City Council to congratulate you. As has been clearly indicated, there are many others that wish to be here in the seat that you are occupying and who were not able to be here because they did not meet the caliber that you all have displayed. It takes years of hard work, of training and dedication to reach this point. So today you become one of our brave men and women in blue, charged with the duty of keeping our city safe, and very excited to hear the demographics and the statistics that were talked about, particularly the number of women that we are seeing enter this force. It really is exciting. We don't have enough women in the City Council, so maybe we have something to learn from the NYPD on how they get that done. We will get there. And we know that this is a duty that you all take very seriously and will carry out with the utmost professionalism. When help is needed, New Yorkers are going to look to each and every one of you. Your presence in the community will let them know that their neighborhood is safer, that their families are protected from danger. In this city of 8.4 million people, you will be among those who turn to help, who we turn to help, who New Yorkers turn to help in good times and in hardship. So in addition to congratulating you, I also want to thank you. And the entire city thanks you for your dedication to serve, the courage you display, and the dedication you have to our wonderful, beautiful city. So on behalf of my colleagues in the City Council, I want you all to know that we have your backs. And it was good to hear, I have 6 detectives who serve on my detail, and I appreciate the work they do each and every day. But this morning, as I entered the car, they were listening to a radio station, one of the local stations. I think it's 105, Power 105. And one of the DJs was talking about the fact that he was thanking the council for the great advocacy that we have made in terms of ensuring that we increase and expand the workforce. And working alongside our mayor and our commissioner, we've been able to do that, and that is why you are all here today. We've pushed to add 1,300 new police officers to the force, including yourselves, because our officers let us know they needed more backup, and we responded to that call. We've put in the funding to get new state-of-the-art bullet-resistant vests for every officer, as has been indicated, and we've invested in brand new police academy facilities so you and every class of new officers after you has the best training and preparation possible. We'll continue to push for the resources needed to keep you safe while you do your job. And we'll continue to listen and do all we can to help you, because we know that the diverse men and women of the New York City Police Department represents the very best this city has to offer. So again, I want to congratulate you all. As I said at the graduating class and the ceremony last week, it is beautiful to hear the number of languages that are spoken amongst all of you. That is what makes this city so beautiful. The diversity exists. My language is Spanish, so I'm going to say very few words in Spanish. Es un honor estar aquí hoy junto al comisionado Bratton y el alcalde de Blasio y ante todos ustedes para esta ceremonia de juramentación. Me gustaría comenzar felicitándolos a todos ustedes. Llegar a este momento requiere años de sacrificio, entrenamiento y dedicación. Hoy ustedes se convierten en uno de los hombres y mujeres valientes del Departamento de la Policía de la Ciudad de Nueva York, encargados con el deber de mantener segura a nuestra ciudad. La ciudad entera les agradece por la decisión de servir, por su valentía y por la dedicación que le muestra a la ciudad de Nueva York. Así que una vez más, felicidades, gracias y disfruten de este día tan especial. Congratulations to each and every one of you. Thank you.
And thank you, Madam Speaker. Officers, on behalf of the mayor and the police commission, elected officials, police executives here on the stage, we congratulate you in joining the NYPD. And as we leave the stage, work hard, study hard, and we will see you in 6 months. Officers, stand up. Members of the dais, please follow me to your right.